everyone, AmberFrmThVault here. Welcome back to more Medieval Dynasty. We're going to jump right back in, so see you back in just a second. Hey everyone, AmberFrmThVault here. Welcome back to more Medieval Dynasty. We're going to jump right back in, so see you back in just a second. Welcome back to a little bit more Medieval Dynasty, but this video is a little bit different. You might notice that, first of all, my character is not Racemir, and this doesn't look like the valley, because it's not. We're actually in Oxbow. I wanted to go ahead and show you my town here in Oxbow, because I've mentioned a couple times that I spent more of my time over in this game, and I've really been enjoying playing it. Also, I have a donkey named Burrito, so, you know. Let's go! As I run into a tree. It is harder to ride donkeys than it is horses. Let me just say it can be tough. So we are actually headed toward my place right now, into my village. Let me go ahead and just mark it on the map here for you. So this down here, this mess of things is my entire village. So you can see how different it looks in comparison to the one that I'm playing over in the Game Pass Xbox app for PC, which is a different version of Medieval Dynasty. Now, I know that they are trying to bring the Oxbow update to the console version of the game. So if you were playing on the console and you're like, I don't have Oxbow yet and I'm very frustrated by it, I totally get it. But we do have it on PC and it's pretty good. I mean, I really enjoy playing it. So you can play a female character. The only thing is you don't really get different female like looking clothes or anything. You do get to have, pressing the wrong buttons here. You do get to have, you know, like the hair that you want and stuff like that. There's not a ton of options, but there is some. But even if you change your clothes, you're still wearing like the same, I would say, male gendered clothes, which depending on how you feel about the game might be different. But personally, I find it kind of annoying because I kind of want to be able to wear the dresses. Like when I played Fallout, I was still playing a lot of times in dresses because I like that style of clothing, but not an option here. So we're going to go ahead and check out my town here. Now, before we do, let me just do a really quick photo mode so we can actually fly over it a little bit. So let me go into camera mode here. Woo! Gonna soar up first and then look down. So here is my town. So this is where we are. We're kind of at the beginning where I have my little, I'm calling it my little market. I haven't finished all of my fence yet, so please excuse me. You'll see my fence in a second here. But the town itself is quite large. It actually goes over two different sections. So it starts on this side of the river here and then goes over to the other side, which we'll see in a second here. It also is built next to the waterfall. So if you have been looking at places to build in Oxbow and you're interested in what it looks like if you build at the waterfall, this is what mine looks like. I know a lot of other people have built completely different and much, much cooler cities than I have, but this is my little village. So obviously this has been a different game. I've put a ton of work into this one. I'm also carrying, if you didn't notice, 1,622 kilograms of stuff, which is something you can't do obviously if you are not planning on playing this with the unlimited carry weight. I also use unlimited stamina. I've mentioned that a couple times. It's absolutely worth it. So once we come in, obviously we meet our little vendors here, and then I have like my first area for my housing. I've done a lot more decorating of the housing here. I haven't done as much decorating just on my own. That is something you can do in the game, but I have to be honest, it doesn't seem to improve the way that your villagers feel about you, which kind of disappointed me. If you decorate their houses, stuff like this, they feel better about you and they like you more. But if you put, you know, your own decorations on these shelves, it doesn't seem to impact how they feel about you. If I'm wrong, please let me know, because I've been doing that and I haven't seen any changes in my villagers' happiness. I did build them all each a little yard, which you'll notice. I think that's very fun. Like I said, this is a very different build than the one that I've been doing over in the game we're playing on the Xbox version, but I'm really enjoying it, I'm gonna be honest. I also did try to make all of my buildings into stone and put the plank roof on them, because if you do that, you're more likely to have happy villagers. They like to have their houses be stone. So I've been working on insulating everyone's houses with limestone. So you can see I've done a little bit of stuff inside of each house. I haven't done a ton yet of the decorating. I'm still going to do some more, but I've really actually been enjoying doing decorating in the houses because it's not something I focused on when I played it over on Xbox, or I should say on the Xbox app, still on PC, but I didn't think about decorating. Like, I'm not sure why I didn't think about it until I played the Oxbow version. You can decorate though in the other one. So as you can see, I've done a lot more in these houses. I've really tried to make them a little bit more interesting. And then this is just kind of the house row. Obviously, these are different homes. I did find out that if you change the direction of the door, you can actually change the directions on these. You can have houses that are facing different ways. I really like that because it gives it a little bit more of an interesting look rather than these all being facing the exact same way. So I do have quite a bit of agriculture in this one. Here is my larger field. And then I do have over here, we're just going to jump. I have my geeses and my chickens. I've got all my little critters here. And I got my chickens over here. It is worth it to do a lot of the farming stuff if you're interested in doing the farming, because eggs are something that you use in a lot of the different recipes in the game. And I've really found them to be useful. So here's more farming plots. I do have, I think, 3 people now working on farming just in this settlement. And I never do anything with farming because I hate it. It's not my favorite part of the game. Here's my pig yard. So you can see that I've got my little area for my piggies there. And here is my first pigs. You can name them all, which I thought was really fun. I didn't do that in my last game, but in this one, oh, you can see how many people I have in my settlement. So I currently have a population of 41. We are trying to get a trophy for getting, I think it's, oh gosh, is it 100 people? Something like that. But I did go ahead and name all of my, not the chickens, no, I did name my chickens. Oh my gosh. I'm forgetting things. But so all of my different animals have names. For a second, I was like, what? I thought I named them. I forgot that they're in the little parentheses, but all of them have little silly names. My roosters are named after something that has Roos or Russ in it. And the hens are all named Hell something because I think it's fun. Obviously I have Silly Goose, Serious Goose, and Serenia Goose. And then I have Babe and Baby because if you watched Babe as a child, you would like Babe. And my donkeys are named after food. I have carne asada, burrito, and barbacoa because I'm not very interesting. My dogs are named Gary and Fred after all. So here's my donkey yard. Here's your little baby. Barbacoa is coming after us, and Mr. Babe's just hanging out in here. But this has really been a lot of fun to put together. I really started this in you'll see in a second, where the main area where I started, it really was a struggle to build out because it took me a long time to figure out how I wanted this to look. And I tore it down and rebuilt it so many times. I've got a little tavern here, but I really feel confident in the way that it turned out in the end. I would definitely make some changes if I had done this again, but you know, it turned out good for me. So you might notice that here, we're going to go back into photo mode because if you are watching the other videos, you might be familiar with this style right here where I put the circular and then put the meeting spot in between. I did the same thing in my other game, and I did that actually because I did it here first and I really liked the way it turned out. I thought that it kind of had a cool, you know, like, I don't know, towny vibe. I've really been enjoying playing it. So I wanted to go ahead and do it also for my game over on the Xbox app. So we're going to go back into first person. You can see that this is kind of where I started. And I think it kind of comes through that I started here because everything is really kind of centered around this little area. And then I started building out from here, which might be why it feels like some parts of the town are sectioned off, which is why I said if I did this again, I would make some changes. I wouldn't have as choppy of streets because one of the problems I have is connecting these two areas. You can't really connect them until you come back here. Not that that's a bad thing, but I wish that there would have been a little bit more connection between those two areas and these wouldn't have felt like distinct separate sections. But I think it turned out. I also would have liked to have put more of my farming next to each other rather than having so much of it kind of cluttered here. I feel like it's very cluttered, but that's all right. It would be way too hard to rebuild all of this now, so I'm not doing it. So I do have my sewist or my tailor, whatever you want to call them. Then I also have my kitchen and my barns over there. And then, of course, my well. This is one thing I tried to do a lot here, though, was leave trees. I really tried to leave trees here so that it would have kind of more of a vibe of being cozy. And, of course, our food storage. And this is where you can start to see the houses kind of got placed in places. I started to realize that maybe I hadn't come up with the best way to build this. So I started kind of having to place houses around here. We're going to go through there in just a second, but you can see that I've got a lot of the little decorations out here. And then I mentioned those yards earlier. I kind of put stuff in the back. I'm still working on kind of building those out, making them look a little bit more interesting. But I have been trying to really put more decorations into this one just because I've spent so much time playing this. And again, I have 1,000 kilograms of stuff in my, what is it? Inventory. Oh my gosh, I was almost said in my person, and that was awkward. But lots more decorations here. You can see, obviously, I spent a lot more time on this than I have on the other game, but you know, that's an eventual goal. I want to spend more time on the other one. I want to make it feel a little bit more towny. But I do feel like this in particular, this map is a lot easier to build on than the valley is. Ooh, I need to fix some of these houses up. Let's see. Can we repair this right now? Nope. Where's the button? Why can't I find it? What do I need to repair you? There we go. Perfect. I've got a lot of pregnant women around here, if you can't tell. I finally started letting them have babies because it was just getting to be too much. Now, a lot of people were able to put their fisher people or fisherman's hut, whatever you want to call it, up by the waterfall. I couldn't get it to work in my game. I had to put it down here. So if you are playing Oxbow and you're looking for a place to put your fisher peoples, I don't know what to call them, your fishermen around here, this would be the best place to put them. If you can't get it to work up in the top like I couldn't get it to work. Now, see, I placed this here. This crate doesn't seem to impact them. In fact, if I do this and I go into my, what is happening? There we go. You can see that I can still pick all this stuff up. It shows up as if it's like part of, you know, things I can grab, rather than showing up as like a part of the house. So it doesn't show as being decorative. It just shows as being stuff on the floor, which makes me a little sad because I would like to be able to decorate in these places and give a little bit more like individual flavor to each individual house, but you can't do that. So anyway, here's another little backyard place. I've got more houses here. So I've got lots and lots of houses. Obviously with 41 people, I've got quite the town going here. So this is very different in comparison to what I've got going on in the other one. I do love too that you can actually add shutters and you can put the curtains on here. I think that's actually pretty cool. So as you can see, we've connected over to that other area now. I tried to leave, sorry, my character is dying of thirst. Let's give her some berries real quick. I tried to make like little alleyways in between the houses so I wouldn't get stuck only having, you know, the houses right next to each other. So I wouldn't get kind of trapped into some areas. I kind of think I like the way that turned out, but in the future, what I might do is try to balance them a little bit more. Right now, they're like just a person wide. I think in the future, I might try to make those the yard spaces instead of trying to add those on later. You'll notice some of the houses that are in this cluster don't have the yard spaces, and that is because I built those really early on when I was just trying to get everyone to move into my village and have a place to stay. And of course, as usual, the largest house, the one next to the tavern, is mine. I'm not gonna lie, I give myself the nicest house. Look, you can judge me all you want. I don't care. Oh, my daughter's making noises. All right, let's see, where is she? She's right there. There's my kid.
How are you?
So she likes me a little bit, not a ton. I don't think I have anything to give her. Oh, yeah, she's still playing with my previous gift. So that's my kid. Oh, but I just walked into her. More stuff I placed outside. So I've got like I've just got like little stuff. You can also put some extra stuff on here. I haven't put any of these yet, and I probably should. But I was trying to give like just a little appearance of, you know, it being a lived in town. But here's our house. Oh, I'm still crouching, aren't I? Come on, stand up. There we go. So here's our house. Obviously, oh, thank you for saying my husband is a lucky bastard. I have 2 children cots in here as I try to punch the air. I can't actually use both of them. You can only have 1 child. I was hoping you could have 2 heirs, but you can't. Here's all the figurines. So these I actually did sit and place each of these items. It was painstaking. We're just going to put it that way. I don't think it's worth it. I like the way that it looks, but it took me a lot of time to place each of these things. And again, it doesn't impact the way that you feel about your house or the way anyone else feels about their house. So I don't know. I feel weird about how much time I actually spent doing that. All right, so here is the waterfall. This is definitely my favorite place to build in Oxbow. I've seen lots of folks talk about wanting to build other places. Lots of folks find cool places to build. I like this one. I think this is just really sweet. Most people I found put their fishing hut here or over here somewhere, and I don't know how they did it. I couldn't get it to go in my game. Someone did it though, because I saw many people doing it. So if you want to try there, go for it. Obviously, we have our nice woodcutter, and then this is the other side. I originally was planning on putting most of the production over here and like making the other area a little bit more homey and like more farmy. Didn't really turn out that way. I ended up having to build houses over here because I started running out of things. But you do have a very nice mine here too. This is another reason I built here, is because I could get a mine right away.
Now I fully understand why the word chore has the or in it.
There are a lot of interesting voice lines in this one. There's a lot of little quips and references too. It's a very what's the word I want to use? It's a very memeing game, which is a good thing. I enjoy it. So we have our resource storage here, and obviously you can see I've been spending most of my time trying to build up things, making them look a little bit more, nice, because we've got the limestone insulation on here. So again, very different from my other game. Still working on these houses. This is where you'll really start to see, yeah, Amber started running out of room and had to place things somewhere. So these houses feel very crushed in here, and I totally would have changed that. I think if I had played this again, I probably would have tried to make the other areas more the house, like the other side. I would have spent more of my time creating like a little neighborhood over there and made these all production buildings. But at the time, I put too much production over there and then just didn't seem to figure it out until it was too late. Here's where it really starts to get a little bit weird though. So let's go into this house. Again, still working on decorating these. You can probably tell these are the recent ones I've built. I do have the little side yards though. These were once I started deciding I was going to build side yards, but here you can see these are actually 2 houses deep. I'm not a huge fan of this. It's not my favorite that it ended up being 2 houses deep, but it didn't turn out too bad. They also do have those little yards. So, it's not terrible. Just about all of my women have babies, by the way. It's very, what's the word I want to use? It's very domesticated around here. It's very domestic. So here you can see, obviously, we're putting stuff in the yards. I've been trying to decorate them out and make them nice. Now, one thing you can't do in this is you can't build like your own footpaths or your own bridges, because if I could, oh, hello, sir. What were you doing? You can actually do different things in the game. Like people have put down planks and ended up building plank bridges, which is pretty cool. If you go on the Reddit for Medieval Dynasty, it is really cool what people are doing. Just crazy builds. Way, way cooler than mine. This build sucks in comparison to 95% of the things I have seen on that Reddit. But I do really like the way the town turned out, compared to my other one, especially because, again, I wasn't really planning on this becoming such a gigantic settlement, but it ended up being something that I spent a ton of time doing. Now, the other thing I do want to just real quick point out is if you are going to play Oxbow, I have a frustration with these buildings. So there's these abandoned buildings, and they can be spots where, different bandits can show up or things, will spawn here. They only spawn here once though, so they won't respawn after you've taken everything, obviously. But it is so close to my town. I wish I could build on this. I think it would be kind of cool if we could take these over and then build on them and then have this little area as I punch the air again. But anyway, that is my build here over in Oxbow. I said I'd show it to you guys, so I did drop this in the Medieval Dynasty one. Now, hopefully this, ends up being sent over to console soon. I feel really bad for people who don't have it on console because I have to say, I think it is a lot more fun than the Valley. You can play it again in co-op. I'm not playing it in co-op. You can play it in co-op or solo. And I really think that if you're someone who really enjoys this game and wants to play more of it, let's go ahead and just load one of my games so I can show you. So if I say I want to load it, it gives you this option. So you can do multiplayer up to 4 people. You can invite your friends. I haven't done it, but I'm sure it's fun. I've seen a lot of people really enjoy it. But I prefer obviously to play solo. So that is my little town here in Oxbow. You can see how different it is in comparison to my one over in Medieval Dynasty. But I think that I'm probably getting better at building towns slowly but surely. This has also been kind of scratching that itch that I've wanted when I can't play Fallout because my PS4 decided it hated Fallout, and I still haven't. I'm struggling to get into Fallout 4 on PC because the mods are different and everything's different, and yeah. It's hard for me, but I've really been enjoying playing this, and hopefully this was just like an interesting little look. So I'll get out of here and we'll go back to the actual Medieval Dynasty game that I have been playing.
Have you ever done any quests?